Today is Sunday, church day. Susan's got her nice skirt on. I've put on a jacket. We're all dressed up, but there's nowhere to go. So this will have to be our church for the moment. Anyway, today I want to continue meditating on hope and particularly the future. I think we need to talk about the future a bit more than we do. And I'm going to do that now. We're going to talk about that moment when Jesus returns. A moment which is often called the rapture. Unfortunately, what most people mean by the rapture is an unbiblical idea of Jesus coming to whisk people away. But I'm going to read the passage which is usually used to justify that wrong doctrine and show how it's actually a very hopeful passage talking about our future and that glorious moment of Christ's appearing. So let me read from 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. I'll start reading from verse 13, and you'll immediately notice that the purpose of this passage is not to teach something about God whisking us away. It's to show how people who die in Christ have an equal share or a tiny bit better share in Christ than we have. Brothers and sisters, we do not want you to be uninformed about those who sleep in death, so that you do not grieve like the rest of mankind who have no hope. For we believe that Jesus died and rose again, and so we believe that God will bring with Jesus those who have fallen asleep in him. According to the Lord's word, we tell you that we who are still alive, who are left until the coming of the Lord, will certainly not precede those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet call of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. After that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so we will be with the Lord forever. Therefore, encourage one another with these words. So the purpose of this passage is to encourage us and give us hope. We're supposed to tell each other about this moment because it's so important. And the reason it's important is not because we're going to escape from 7 years of trouble, which is a common teaching. The reason it's important is because this is the moment of Christ's appearing. It's the usual word that translated, I think, in the NIV as coming. It means the appearance of somebody or their arrival to stay, not their arrival to run away. So Jesus is arriving, and the dead and the living, all in Christ, meet him together. It's a great comfort to bereaved Christians to realize that those who have died already have lost nothing in terms of salvation. It's not to teach the doctrine of a secret rapture. How the secret rapture became popular, I have no idea. There's nothing secret about this. It's an amazingly noisy affair, isn't it? You notice there are 3 loud noises mentioned here. First of all, a loud command. The word is a commanding shout from the Lord. The voice of an archangel. Archangels do not talk quietly. And the blast of a trumpet. Okay, so 3 enormous noises, and it's supposed to be a secret. I don't know how that works. Anyway, it's not about the noise, it's about the coming of the Lord. Verse 15, that's where this word parousia crops up. It's Jesus coming to stay. And so we meet him in the air because he's coming to stay, not because he's going again. So this is an important moment. This is the moment when all believers have the opportunity to meet Christ as he comes to rule. It's exactly the same moment that we came across a couple of days ago in 1 Corinthians 15. Let me read just 3 verses from that. Listen, I tell you a mystery. We will not all sleep, but we will all be changed in an instant, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, the dead will be raised imperishable, and we will be changed. For the perishable must be clothed with the imperishable, and the mortal with immortality. So the important thing about this moment, you notice it's the same trumpet, the same moment when the dead rise, is that we will be changed. Not only will we join Jesus' entourage, we'll be made fit and ready to be Jesus' entourage. We'll be changed in a moment, the twinkling of an eye. We will be imperishable. We will become immortal. Now, that moment of the dead being raised, the living disciples being changed, the great trumpet of God sounding, is bringing in a new permanent condition. This is not a sort of hit and run job. Jesus is coming to rule. I always say it's like the airport analogy when you go to meet someone at the airport. The first time I landed in Abuja, I was coming down the steps down to the concrete apron. I was halfway down the steps when a choir started singing. One of those marvellous Nigerian choirs in their colourful uniforms, all singing together. I thought, this is a great welcome. And it wasn't for me. There was one of the big shot pastors was just getting off the aeroplane, and I thought, what a lovely thing. The whole church choir turn out, they sing on the tarmac, greeting him as he comes down the steps. Now, I've never been involved in anything quite that grand, but whenever I have friends visiting from abroad, quite often I will go to meet them at Heathrow Airport. Now, what am I doing? Why am I going to Heathrow Airport? Am I going so that they and I together can jump on an aeroplane and run away? No. I'm greeting them at the airport so that I can escort them home to here, because they're coming to stay, at least for a while. And that's what I think is happening in the rapture. We are going up to meet Jesus in the air, but once we've met him in the air, what happens next? Does he run away? Do we run away? No. He comes to rule. This is the moment when immortality arrives, and where the mortal is done away with. This is the moment when Jesus comes to bring in the permanent kingdom. There is nothing temporary about the rapture. So it's a fantastic arrival. It's not a fantastic departure. It's a fantastic arrival of the Son of God. It is not the departure of cowardly Christians running away from trouble, which is really what the doctrine of the rapture is about. No, we go back to the earth, but it's not the old earth, it's the new earth. Jesus changes everything. The new creation, the new heavens, the new sky above, and the new ground below. That's what we're going to celebrate when Jesus arrives. Jesus is coming to stay, and that's our hope. We are certainly going to enjoy meeting him up in the clouds. We're going to enjoy that marvellous moment of arrival, and we will be like that choir in Abuja, the choirs of angels and the choirs of redeemed humanity singing together the praises of the King who has come to stay. And that's our hope, or it's a part of our hope at least. It's the beginning of our hope. It's the beginning of the world to come. And I think that's just so much more glorious than this cunningly composed scheme of things, which includes secret raptures, 7 years of hell on earth, a millennium where Jesus fails, because in the end Gog and Magog try to have a rebellion. That whole scheme is nonsense. I believed it once and I don't believe it now. I think that the truth is simpler but far, far more wonderful. When Jesus comes, he will destroy the devil and all his works. There will be no future rebellion, no millennium that ends in failure. We will not run away to hide in heaven while there's horrors on earth. Jesus has come to change everything, as he says. behold, I make everything new. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are. Well, that's the first of two little talks on our future hope, and I hope at the end of it we will encourage each other with these words. God bless you, God keep you, and if we can't meet together in church, well, we can still be together in spirit. Bye for now.